Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 20. If you don't have it, I ask that you would pair up with a buddy. Amen. Praise the Lord. Gospel according to Matthew, chapter 20, New King James Version. And it only reads like this. For the kingdom of heaven is like a landowner who went out early in the morning to hire laborers for his vineyard. Now when he had agreed with the laborers for a denarius a day, a day's work, he sent them into his vineyard. Verse 3. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and said to them, you also go into the vineyard, and whatever is right I will give you. So they went. Again he went out about the 6th and the 9th hour, and did likewise. And about the 11th hour he went out and found others standing idle, and said to them, why have you been standing here idle all day? Verse 7, they said to him, because no one hired us. He said to them, you also go into the vineyard, and whatever is right you will receive. So when evening had come, the owner of the vineyard said to his steward, call the laborers and give them their wages, beginning with the last to the first. And when those came who were hired about the 11th hour, they each received a denarius, a day's worth of work. But when the first came, they supposed that they would receive more, and they likewise received each a denarius. Verse 11, and when they had received it, they complained against the landowner, saying, these last men have worked only but 1 hour, and you made them equal to us who have borne the burden in the heat of the day. But he answered one of them and said, friend, I am doing you no wrong. Did you not agree with me for a denarius? Take what is yours and go your way. I wish to give to the last man the same to you. Verse 15, is it not lawful for me to do what I wish with my own things? Or is your eye evil, envious, because I am doing a good thing? So the last will be first, and the first last, for many are called, but few are chosen. Amen, amen. That's enough. This has been a reading, the teaching, and hearing of God's word. Amen. Praise the Lord. I want to speak from the subject this morning. Amen. If we can wrestle against your understanding over the life that you chose to live. Amen. I want to speak from the theme, that's not fair. Amen. That's not fair. I want you to touch somebody and say, that's not fair. I'm not the typical touch your neighbor, turn around and speak to your neighbor. I'm not that specific kind of preacher, amen. But right now I want you to agitate somebody next to you and tell them, look them with all the bullets that you have, like they owe you some change, amen. Touch them and say, hey, my life is not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair, because the truth is there's some things we wish we could have that we have yet to receive. Amen. That's not fair. Let's pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, I bless you, Lord God, for blessing your people, Father. Now remove all manner of distraction. I pray, Lord God, that you would equip them with ears to hear, Father God. Most importantly, Father, I pray that this is not the climax of their week, Father God, but allow them not to stand and sit idle, Lord God, but after receiving instruction to go out and carry out every order, Father God, as a commission request, Father God. I bless you for blessing them. In Jesus' name I do pray. Amen and amen. That's not fair. Being Christian, selling your life for a cause that is not your own. Being Christian, many would profess, is it fair? Do I have any witnesses in the house? Amen. Being Christian, giving more of yourself to somebody who doesn't even know how to appreciate who you are and what you have to offer. Being Christian, is it fair? Being Christian, being called on to turn so many cheeks, but he only gave me two. That's fair. Church taught me how to be a hypocrite and how to judge people. Because so many times in church we find unfair privileged folk coming in, and because we're already in position, we judge and criticize all the hell that they're going through, like we haven't gone through the mud of life also. That's, brothers and sisters, that's not fair. That's not fair. Brother Ron, see, I noticed that life is a minority compared to Christians. Life is a minority. We are the minorities. Because a lot of folk walking up and down the street, and you pass them every day, you don't even know that they're brother, you don't even know that they're sister, because their actions and their deeds doesn't speak appropriately for those that profess Christian. Now, a Muslim, I know this. Now, a Jew, I can tell by their attire, but a Christian, where are thy works? Good brother, good sister, that's not fair that you are perpetrating Christ inside the sanctuary, but you take off your halo when the final amen is said. That's not fair. In order for me to deliver, it first must hit me, because I look at my life and say, well, I'm 33. It's hard to believe. I'm 33. I can't believe I feel this way. I should be further along in life. God, that's not fair. To be honest with God and say, God, I need more. God, I need more. But Paul says, I press towards the mark of the high calling. We settle for lower callings in the church. We settle for lower callings. Many people live on a lower calling kind of level, not knowing that there's more on the other side. That's not fair. So I say, God, I need more. God says, well, if you need more, I need you to do more, to get more. You can go harder, because if you want something, you ought to go get it. My mom said people make time for what they want to make time for. So I'm not getting more of myself, but that's not fair. But I'm a minority. Living in a world who perpetrate Christ only when it's convenient for them. See, we're outnumbered. We're outnumbered. See, estimation in 2012 was different from that in 2019, when it says that 2.4 billion Christians are in the world. There are 2.4 billion Christians in the world. In March of 2019, a man by the name of Frank Jacobs of the Big Thing, he gathered the Christian population based on countries and found that the United States is majority Christian. But the atheist and the agnostic share of its population alone is bigger than the total population net of Christians throughout the country. There are more atheists in the United States than there are Christians, according to this statistic. What is that being said, child of God? What is that being said, worker and laborer of God? We're not sharing the good news as we ought to. That's not fair. But to reflect on what's not fair throughout the United States is to say that we sit in a state of privilege, and we don't even appreciate what our brothers and sisters are going through over the seas. They're still being tormented and dying for something we take for granted. That's right. Oh, brother, sister, the air isn't working today. I can't be in church because it's not conducive for my health. But all the while, there's somebody over the other side of the ocean walking 4 and 5 miles to a sanctuary with dirt floors in order to worship somebody that you take for granted. That's not fair. See, us Christians have developed a peculiar aptitude of building a life based on convenience instead of sacrifice. I ought not offer Father anything that does not accompany a sacrifice. What I've given him things that are convenient for my lifestyle. The crumbs under the table. After I done had my full, Father, I invite you in to sit behind me in order to get the scraps under the table. We treat God like a dog and don't give him the first. That's not fair. In order for me to deliver, it first must touch me, brothers and sisters. Pastor Chuck Tate of the Rock Christian City Church, he wrote, if we Christ followers, I quote, if we Christ followers would only quit doing the following, we might bring more people to Jesus. If we Christian folk quit doing the following, we might bring more people overflow section. Hello, people that have yet to be told about the truth, living an unfair, unjust life. If we do the following, more people might come to Jesus, because after all, we as folk are attracted to what brings us the feel-good moments. If I'm turning Christ on when it doesn't feel good, I'll reach somebody who has never been exposed to my Father.
That's right.
Because if I'm always saying, well, brother, well, sister, I'm blessed and highly favored, it deters people because I don't show them the scars. I'm here to tell somebody the difference from a wound and a scar. A wound is something that has yet to be healed.
That's right.
While a scar has already gone through the healing process.
That's right.
If I show people my process over how he brought me over, I'll show them an unfair life that God twist, turned, flipped upside down and gave me what I didn't deserve. That's not fair. But he loves on me anyhow. If we Christians, Pastor Chuck said, if we Christians do the following, more people might be brought to Christ. He said if we quit expecting the world to like us, jump in where you fit. And Jesus said it would hate you just like it hate me if you profess my name. He says if we quit throwing your own teammates under the bus, quit to leave a brother or sister out in the middle of the street dying when they need more help than we could ever imagine. If we quit gossiping, if we quit throwing our mouth and our lips and our opinions and judging other people, more people might be brought to Christ. That's not fair. Quit replacing prayer with good vibes and positive thoughts. Be real with God and expose the naked truth. That's not fair. Quit saying repentance isn't necessary when we ought to repent on a daily basis, Pastor. If we quit saying that the portions of the Bible that make you feel uncomfortable are irrelevant and nothing more than dated writings, because the truth is in the Word of God.
That's right. You preach it.
And somebody said it'll never ever, somebody jump in with me, one of these evers, never ever lose its power.
That's right.
Because if it was real back then, it's more than real right now. He said if we quit expecting unbelievers and non-Christians to understand the Bible and or live like Christ when we've never accepted and share the truth.
That's right.
If your life is a living, breathing epistle of the truth of God, but we try to give them Bible, what did Jesus do? And it's in the text, Because to understand Matthew chapter 20, you first must realize what's going on in Matthew chapter 19. When Jesus spoke in layman's terms, but they still didn't get it. So, what is that saying? When the world does not get it, give them a parable, something that they understand. Because they're not going to speak your language. They don't know what an Abraham is. They don't know what the fiery bush is. They don't know what it's like to fast and pray. But we hide behind fasting and praying, not meeting people on their level because we're afraid to compromise, like our salvation can be lost and stripped from us. Pastor Chuck, he goes on and says we need to quit thinking that it's okay to be solid about your faith. Faith, you're too loud. Faith, I need you to quiet up right now. Because after all, I'm walking amongst wolves. They don't know what it's like to be a sheep. Somebody who follows. In the world, you're a sheep following the wrong thing. In Christ, you're following the good shepherd. But we don't fully acknowledge when he's giving us a fair hand and stripping us of ourselves. Well, Pastor, I don't want to be stripped of self. Because after all, it took me my entire life for me to arrive in the place I am today. And I feel good about myself. But what happens when the party is over? What happens when nobody is celebrating you any longer? What do you have to hold on to, Christian? What is the summation of your faith when everybody has turned their back on you, Christian? What happens when you dealt an unfair hand on top of an unfair hand and you reneged on everything that you built up, Christian? That's not fair, but that's the truth this morning. We need to quit being passionate about your political affiliations and not share Jesus. You're more so concerned about being a Democrat, Republican, or independent and not tossing Christian out there.
That's right.
Because after all, that's the ultimate party you ought to belong to. When the world neglects you, Christ will still hold you, Christian. talk like us, walk like us.
Yes.
People that don't do what we ought to do.
Yes.
Because I pull up at a light. The member from the congregation pulls up right beside me. And they hear me bumping some old school Jay-Z or that throwback KRS-One or that new J. Cole. They judge me based on what I'm listening to in that moment. Not knowing that I'm on my way to minister to somebody on that pedigree.
Yeah.
So in order for me to reach somebody on that pedigree, I first must expose who I am in order to relate to who they are.
That's right.
Because I cannot settle just to sit high and look low. I first must go down into the mud in order to bring somebody up, because that's the fair moment of life, Christian. That's not fair, according to somebody who has been saved and sanctified for 30 plus years. They don't want to backslide because they feel as though God can't forgive a backslide. They feel as though God can't wrestle with somebody who has slipped and fell even now, even a few seconds ago, because your mind wanders and you need to bring it under subjection every second, every hour of the day. It's a daily fight. Scripture says, I kill myself daily. I have to lay down this flesh daily because there's no good thing in the flesh, Deacon. It tells me these things. I need to quit living like everybody's going to heaven and nobody's going to hell. The reality is that we're losing the battle. We're losing the battle. But to know that we've already won the war, to know that there's some battles that are going to be lost. But when they neglect me, when they turn their backs on me, they're not refusing me, but they're refusing the Christ on the inside of me. So I need not to get wrapped up in my feelings, but share the good news on a daily basis. We need to quit pointing out the speck in your neighbor's eyes while ignoring the plank in your very own eyes. We need to quit turning our back on those that are bleeding the most, because after all, those that are bleeding only are in need of a blood transfusion. They need to be fused with somebody whose blood will wash them whiter than snow. We need to quit defending sin, quit using the phrase, he who's without sin cast the first stone, when we throw more rocks in the church than those that are on the other side of the door. We need to quit using the phrases like when inviting people to church, come as you are if you're going to complain when they start showing up and sin and you'll stay sanctified. That's not fair to invite them and then criticize the hell out of them and allow them to leave back up the same way as they entered. We need to quit doing these things, because these things are the very things that deteriorates people from exposing what they really need from the Father.
That's right.
See, your posture then, it's your posture. Your posture while waiting on the Lord has grown stale. It's a stale posture that you have to sit idle and do nothing. We've become numb to what once was sensitive. It's not good that I see somebody on the street without shoes and I walk past them because I'm used to seeing the image. It's not used to seeing and hearing people murdered in the news because I've become numb and desensitized because it's old daily business. It's business as usual. We've grown weary and well doing. Brothers and sisters, we have an acute case of complaining and comparing. Somebody say complaining and comparing. My wife is smiling because she says I'm the ultimate professional complainer. Well, in life, what I've known and grown used to is that when you've grown accustomed to things a certain way, and you feel like your way is the right way, everybody else must be wrong. Not knowing that there are many avenues and many ways to Christ, that somebody is going to find Christ another direction. Well, my direction was right here. But I'm complaining and I'm comparing my situation to their situation. I'm complaining and comparing what's in the media according to what I feel like I should have. A lottery ticket away from my life being transformed. I have a millionaire lifestyle on a barely six-figure salary. What am I doing? That's not fair. Because God, you say that I'm the apple of your eye. God, you say I'm above and not beneath. God, you say that I'm royal and I have a priesthood mentality. God, I deserve something while I'm amongst the land of the living. That's not fair. We're complaining and comparing everything. Consider then the orientation of a child. Whenever a child is given something, and there's multiple childs in the atmosphere, a child will be given what's given unto them, and then pause before they look at and start enjoying what you given to them, and look at the other children's just to see if you gave them a bit more than what they've already received. That's the orientation of a childlike mentality. We don't want less than our brothers and sisters. When who has given, he's given us what we can handle. He's given us what's according to our measure. He's given us something so we won't lose the appetite in who he is. But we compare everything with a measuring stick of life that, oh, if I don't measure up, I'm not good enough. Well, there's seasons in your life where you will rise to occasion, and seasons in your life where you're going to need to be broken. And I need you to catch this wisdom. Listen closely. There are seasons in your life where you're going to have to be broken. If you believe in that, raise your hand. I need you to understand and not wrestle with the fact that you're broken. You were broken before and he fixed you.
That's right.
Now with your fixed self, he will break you again, not for your own comfort, but for his will. Now his ways are different from our ways. His thoughts are different from our thoughts, and we don't even understand what he's doing at the time. But when he breaks us, he's breaking us in order to bless your brother and your sister. To see if your brother and your sister grasp the concept that your brother and sister are broken, I need you to step outside of your comfort zone to speak a word into them to make them whole again. Now, if you don't realize your brokenness was for an example, was for the testing of your brother and sister, you ought not call yourself Christian.
That's right.
Because the full magnitude of Christian is doing what doesn't feel good in order to uplift somebody, to put them on a feel-good kind of level, to serve a feel-good kind of God. We have to understand that, see, I'm here to expose the unbalanced scales of what's fair and unfair this morning. You've been living a lie. You've been living a lie, thinking that because you're sold out for Christ, everything in your life should be fair. Not knowing that you're living behind enemy lines. And living in a world that does not belong to you, you're setting up something. You're setting up the curtain call. You're setting up the one who's going to come to set everything straight. You have become a soldier on the battlefield, and you're on the front line, and you're dying daily for somebody who doesn't even love you back. That's not fair. The question is today, am I working to achieve A, B, or C? But if you take the word working out, am I living to achieve A, B, and C? Because after all, what you're working towards will in fact indeed be what you're living towards. See, many believe that in life it's difficult to see and notice or win. When we look at the media and see athletes signing $140 million contracts, but surgeons and teachers and mothers are barely getting by because they're sacrificing more than time than somebody who's playing a game, receiving a whole lot of accolades and currency and money. But we have to realize what's fair according to the world is not fair according to the kingdom of God. We have to understand something. Some church folk, listen closely, come a bit closer. Some church folk, Lady Galloway, can do a whole lot in the sanctuary, but ain't worth much in the streets. You can do a whole lot behind closed doors, but when the lights and the cameras are on, you shrink under the pressure that you first must expose the naked truth. The embarrassing moments, the moments that the streets need to see, because they need to see a real God in a real world, dealing with real problems, knowing that you're a real person. And although you're walking around with a halo and invisible wings, you still have to go through trials and tribulations. See, Abraham Lincoln said, in the end, it's not the years in your life that count. It's the life in your years. It's not what you've been through, but how you acted while you were going through what you're supposed to go through. I said what you're supposed to go through. Not what you wanted to go through, but what you're supposed to go through. To realize what's going on in Scripture and examine the text this morning in order to fully appreciate the value of the chapter 20. Chapter 19 was the setup where a young rich man came to Jesus and said, like, I need to know how I can get down with your disciples. I need to know how I can be in the in crowd. I need some of what you have over here. Jesus says, well, in order for you to get down with my boys and my disciples, I need you to obey the commandments and the laws. The young rich man said, well, I've been doing that since I was a young man. I've been obeying and I've been sacrificing since I was a young man, but I still feel like I'm falling short somewhere. I still feel like there's something unfair about what I'm living and working towards. Jesus says, well, if you still feel like you're coming up short, I need you to sell and get rid of everything. Young rich person, everything in your life that you've obtained up until this point, I need you to let it go. The young rich man, he took back his application to be a disciple and he walked out. Because the thought of giving up all his possessions was too much to lose in order to serve Christ, in order to walk it out with Christ. So after hearing this and seeing this, the disciples, Peter, he says, well, I've given up everything. I've given up my business because I was a fisherman, I'm an entrepreneur. I've given up that. I've given up my family and my friends to serve you. I know when I get to that glorious place, you're going to look out for me, Jesus. Jesus said, well, hold up, Peter. You're going to be given the same thing like those that follow me after you will be given. That's eternal life with me. You're going to be sitting high, looking low, sitting real pretty. But Peter, that wasn't sitting well with him. So Jesus in chapter 20, he had to break it down a bit further through a parable. It says that there was a man. There was a landowner who went out early in the morning. Somebody say 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
A landowner who went out roughly around 6 a.m. to get people to work in his vineyard. The Bible says that he went and hired laborers. So my sanctified mind would suggest that the landowner, he went to a temp agency to get laborers to work in his vineyard at 6 a.m. Somebody say 6 a.m.
6 a.m.
So if that wasn't enough, 3 hours later, somebody say 9 a.m. 9 a.m. he went out, the Bible says, to a marketplace. A marketplace where people are going about their daily lives, not doing much of anything, but just strolling through life in the what? The marketplace. And this was 9 a.m. He says, well, if you need something to do, come in my vineyard, work for me, and I'll give you what is right. So join those that are hired at 6 a.m. early in the morning, y'all. Join the 9 a.m. crowd, join the 6 a.m. crowd. Now everybody's working in the vineyard. Still with me? So 12 p.m., the landowner goes out in the marketplace again and get more people to work in his vineyard. 3 p.m., he goes out again and get more people to work in the vineyard. Now the Bible says 2 hours later, an hour before quitting time, 5 p.m., he goes out and finds somebody standing there idle and say, what have you been doing all day long? What have you been doing all day long? The man begins to say, well, I've been looking for something to do, but nobody hired me, nobody told me, nobody shared the good news with me that there was something to do over there in the vineyard. So the landowner said, well, you can come work in my vineyard too, and I'll give you what's fair. 5 a.m., 5 p.m. Now 6 p.m. rolled around, it was quit time, it was time to shut the entire operation down. So he told the manager to go get all the laborers, have them line up. Have the 5 p.m. crowd line up first, and I'm going to take care of them first. So let's go 5 p.m., let's go 3 p.m., 12 p.m., 9 a.m., and then 6 a.m., and I'll take care of everybody. So he began to give the 5 p.m. crowd a denarius worth of work, a full day's worth of work. And they only calculated and clocked 1 hour. They worked 1 hour worth of work, and they still received a whole day's award. He gave the 3 p.m. crowd a whole day worth of work, the 12 p.m. crowd a whole day, the 9 a.m. crowd a whole day, and when it got to the 6 a.m. crowd, the crowd that was hired from the temp agency, they just knew that they would be receiving a whole lot more money because they worked all day. They would stand the heat of the day. I'm here to tell somebody, when you watch the people before you get blessed, you miss out on your blessing because what's for you is for you. What was for them was for them. They couldn't understand how somebody somebody could be blessed equally after not performing greater works. Look at somebody who was hanging on a cross. Look at the thief who was hanging on a cross. His life didn't measure up to salvation up until that last moment. His life didn't mean much of anything until that last moment. He didn't dedicate his life and give up everything like the disciples did in order to inherit eternal salvation. But Jesus found it necessary to give him the same reward as those who had called out the Christ all these years. When you look at those that are getting blessed before you, you miss out on what's for you. The Bible says that the 5 p.m. crowd were standing idle in the marketplace. That should touch somebody and say, well, why didn't nobody tell them about a place and a man who was hiding? Yeah. There are people who are sitting idle in Baltimore City, waiting for somebody to tell them the good news, that you can dedicate your life to not a building. You can dedicate your life, not just your finances. You can dedicate your life, not just your aptitude and your gifts and your accomplishments, but you can dedicate your life to a cause that will give you life after life. It produces life after death. But nobody has told them about the good news, and they're just sitting idle in the marketplace. And that's what the landowner saw. That although it didn't seem fair for those that have been working all day long in the heat, for those that have been sacrificing and laboring before the Lord all day long, it was not fair according to their standards. But the landowner understood that in order to get them to come back, I first must do an unfair thing to them. I first must give them more than they deserve, and give those who agreed, and the mature folk, the mature laborers, I first must trust them in order not to complain when brothers and sisters are getting blessed after them, but trust them that there's a purpose in spite of being unfair. As we close, I need to press the example of a doorman. The example of a doorman, it suggests that when you arrive first to the door, a good Christian, a good example of a child of God is to not rush through the door and slam the door behind you, but a good example of a doorman suggests that you are to hold the door open for those that are going to come in behind you. And when you hold the door open for those that are going to come in behind you, what you're doing is you were once first in line, but now you're last in line. A good Christian holds the door open for those that will come in after him because he desires to have more people join him at the dinner table. Now, because he was once first in line, now he's last in line. He's last to eat. He's last to be seated. He's last to receive everything that the host has to offer. But because he was such a gentleman, because he understood what needed to be sacrificed, the Father is still going to bless him, just like he was first in line and sat down at the dinner table first. We live an unfair life as Christians. Nothing is going to measure up. But in order for you to understand and fully acknowledge salvation, salvation is unfair. Salvation is unfair. Romans tells us that the wages of sin is death. But the promises, the gifts of God, are eternal life through Christ Jesus. Through Christ Jesus. To go through a man who lived a life in exuberating punishment that he didn't even go through. That he wasn't even the starter of it. To go through and profess Christ is to say that although I'm getting dealt the bad hand down here right now, I know that there's going to come a day when all my labor under the sun will mean all the more. In Jesus' name. That's not fair. But God is more than fair. In Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.